suppose that's what it means to be human. Stubborn, even in surrender. Your breathing is slowed. The world pulls back for you now. And I remain. I always remain. You know, when I first took the vow to protect you, I did not understand what it would mean. I thought it would be transactional, a favor. But I had forgotten what it means to care, to watch something fragile, luminous, and alive, so very alive, grow within my reach. You forget things after centuries, not because your mind is weak, but because your memory fades where meaning is lost. And I had lost meaning long before I met you. There was a time I stood at the edges of war-torn cities, watching fire devour rooftops as screams filled the sky. I did nothing. I felt nothing. I was a shadow among ruins. But then you looked at me with eyes unclouded by fear, as though I were not a monster, but something else, something still worth being. Do you remember the first time you invited me inside? You barely knew me. You had heard the rumors, of course. The pale woman who never slept, the strange eyes, the night walker. But you opened your door and said, "You look cold." I wasn't cold. I was dead. But you made me want to feel warmth again. So here I am, night after night, watching over you while you sleep. And I do not mean that in some romantic sense of brooding in the corner, like the stories say. No, I watch, I listen, I guard, because there are things in the dark far worse than I. Things that would love to drink your joy and leave nothing behind. Old creatures who remember me, resent me for what I've become. A protector of humans. They laugh at that. Let them laugh. You are not prey. Not while I still exist in this cursed form. You murmured something in your sleep just now. A name, perhaps. Was it mine? No, I don't expect that. You speak to dreams. I speak to the quiet. We do not always meet in the middle. But I remember your voice. I remember the first time you cried in front of me. You were embarrassed, tried to turn away, to apologize, as though sorrow were a crime. You don't know how long it's been since I witnessed grief that wasn't laced with poison. Yours was pure, soft, undeniably human. And I envied you. Even now I envy you. You age, you decay, you change. You love, lose, rebuild. I stay the same. But through you, I remember what it felt like to be temporary. And that, my dear, is sacred. Do you know what it's like to hold centuries inside your chest and have no one to tell them to? What stories wrought in silence? I could tell you about Rome. Not the one in your books, no. The one of heat, of stone, of blood and pride. Or the plague years, when I carried children to safety in the shadows, because no one else would touch them. Or the woman in Paris who painted my portrait, then burned it, saying no soul should look that hungry. I could tell you about my sire. But no, not tonight. Tonight is yours. I have memorized the rhythm of your breath, the way it itches when you dream of falling. I have heard your heart slow when you feel safe. And God help me, I want you safe. Always. always, even when I no longer am needed. Even when time finally pries me away. You'll wake tomorrow, stretch like you do, rub your eyes and check your phone. You won't remember this. Not exactly. But maybe you'll feel it, like warmth on your neck where nothing touched, or a whisper in your mind when you step out into the day. I do not ask you to love me, only to live. If you are afraid, if ever the dark grows teeth again, just speak. I will hear it. Across cities, across centuries if I must. I am not bound by walls. But for now, sleep. Sleep and know that you are not alone. My eyes will not close, not until dawn. And even then, my presence lingers. Always yours. Ah, I forget sometimes that your world still assumes protector must mean him. But no, little flame. Your guardian is not a prince in shadows. She is not armor. She is fang. She is what mothers used to warn their children about at the edges of the woods. And yet, here I am, watching over you like a relic desperate to preserve a single ember of light. You would not have chosen me, I think, if you knew what I've done. But love, real love, is not always chosen. Sometimes it wraps itself around you in silence, like ivy, like chains. Do you remember the winter you got sick? No, of course you don't. You slept through most of it. I sat right there, that chair, every night, every day too. I pulled the curtains shut when the sun crept too close to your face. Listened to the rattle in your chest. Counted the seconds between each breath. That was the first time I prayed in 200 years. Who did I pray to? I don't know. The old gods, the forgotten ones, the ones who don't judge monsters like me. I offered them blood from my own body, even knowing it would do nothing, because when something fragile and dear suffers, even the damned beg. You mumbled my name once, not the one I go by now, the old one, the one I wore when I still had a pulse. That was how I knew. Somewhere in you, there's a part that remembers me, even if you don't know why. They would say I glamored you, that I bewitched you. But no, I have never touched your mind, never dared. Your affection, whatever glimmer of it there is, has always been yours, freely given, and therefore the rarest thing I've ever held. You see, before you, love was always sharp, always cost something. I was adored by kings and feared by gods once, but they wanted possession. You asked me if I was lonely. I could have wept. No one had asked me that in centuries. And if I could, I would give you my years, pour them out for you like wine, let you live 100 lifetimes and never feel the bite of time. But I cannot. I can only sit here and guard the one life you have, with all the fury and tenderness I possess. There's something moving outside the window. No need to wake. It's nothing I haven't dealt with before. A lesser thing. Hollow. Hungry. It doesn't understand why I guard you. It only knows the scent of warmth. But it will not come near again. Not tonight. You're dreaming again. There's that little line between your brows. Trouble. A memory, maybe. Or a fear. What do you see, my heart? A storm. A face you miss. Something you said wrong. I wish I could climb into the dream with you. Not to fix it, just to stand myself until one day I heard laughter, your laughter, in a bookstore of all places. You were sitting on the floor with a dog-eared novel in your lap, saying something ridiculous to the clerk, and I just stood there, paralyzed, like the dead thing I am, because that sound, it woke something. It told me I was still capable of longing. That was the beginning, not of our story. No, you didn't even notice me then. But it was the beginning of hope. And hope is more terrifying than any blade. You make me feel not just productive, but dangerous in a new way. Willing to tear through realms for you. Because you are not my weakness. You are the only thing I have left to believe in. And if the end ever comes for me, if the sun rises and I do not rise with it, know this. I do not regret eternity, only that I cannot share it with you. But tonight you are still here, breathing, dreaming, and I am still beside you. So sleep, beloved. Let the world turn without your worry. My eyes will not close. My hands will not fail. You are safe, so long as I remain. You're calmer now. Your breath has softened into rhythm again. Whatever haunted you has passed. Strange, isn't it? How the night carries so much weight for some, and yet to others it's only rest. I used to fear the night, before I became it. As a child, I would hide from the dark under threadbare blankets. I thought if I couldn't see the monsters, they couldn't see me. I didn't know then that some monsters wear skin and smiles and walk in daylight. And now I am the very thing I feared. But I've learned it isn't what you are that defines you. It's who you protect when no one else is watching. And I have chosen you. Do you know how rare that is for one like me? I've turned away from empires, denied old bonds, walked out of the catacombs of my own kind, because they could not understand what you mean to me. They say I've grown soft, that I've left the centuries, that I let the centuries stall my edge. But let me tell you something, love. There is nothing soft about loving something fleeting, nothing dull in giving yourself to a world that will never remember you. I don't need to be remembered. I only need you to live, to walk out into your small, flawed, beautiful world and laugh again, to cry when you must, and curse when you must, and dance when no one's watching. I want you to live so fully, so brightly, that even the stars envy you. And if that means I remain in shadow, if that means my name is never spoken aloud, then so be it. I would rather be your silent guardian than all the queens I once was. It's almost time now. Can you feel it? The dawn is pressing at the edges of the curtains. Even from here, I feel its heat beginning to rise. It tugs at me like an old enemy or a lost friend. No matter, I'll go soon. But before I do, if you wake and wonder why you slept so deeply tonight, why the ache in your chest feels lighter, why the nightmares didn't take root, know that I was here. Not in body, not in some dramatic tale, just here, beside you. And when the sun falls again, so shall I rise again. Always, I will return, because I made a promise long ago, and I have kept it night after night. No harm shall reach you, not while I breathe.